House of Glory wrestling fans, I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. Beware the Fury was quite a night of wrestling for House of Glory and pretty much up there with last month's Final Hour. All right, the show kicks off with Jody Ora, who made his house, I guess it was his main show debut, because I think he was part of the student show back in April. He went one-on-one with the Ghetto Samurai Nolo Kitano, accompanied by the Anunnakis, or Nakis. Nice showing by Jody Ora. That's Jody spelled with an I at the end. Nola, I believe there was a distraction by the Anunnakis, or one Anunnaki, as Nolo spit green mist in the face of Aura, and he pinned him with a small package to get the victory. Up next, we see Detective James, I guess still part of HOG PD, as he went one-on-one with Blackman from the Black Hand, who was accompanied to the ring by Michael Fane and Kiki Van Gogh. Out on the floor, James got his hands on a chair and he threw it against the guardrail and threw it on the floor in front of Van Gogh and Fane. And it was like I guess not like a page out of the late Eddie Guerrero playbook, but referee Nick Shin heard the noise of the chair. He thought Fane or Van Gogh did it and ejected both of them from ringside. Eventually, the end came when Blackman defeated Detective James with a lariato. And eventually, after the match was over, Van Gogh and Fane came back out to celebrate the victory with Blackman. Up next, out comes the Cash Flow. Ken Broadway, he comes out and we're doing a promo, but he's dressed to wrestle. And he said he had found somebody and said he was putting the House of Glory Tag Team Division on notice. So Broadway introduced the newest member of Cash Flow Inc., the man that's all about Showtime, Encore. And which led up to a match which saw the Brick City Boys, Victor Chase and Julio Cruz, taking on Broadway and Encore. Good match here. The end came when Encore pinned Chase with a Uranagi, or as we commonly know it as the Rock Bottom. Anyway, Encore and Cashflow Broadway to Ken Broadway to win the match. And I think this team can work. I mean, I guess now, after Broadway returned a few months back, and he settled the score with Detective James last month, it makes you wonder, like, I was wondering what was going to be next for Ken Broadway, especially since as he pointed out in his promo, that he was not advertised for the show, not pictured on the flyers or the posters. But I think that's a pretty good team right there. Up next, we see former Impact Wrestling star Jake Something challenge the root of all evil, Charles Mason, for the Crown Jewel Championship. I forgot how, but referee Nick Shin got bumped in the corner. Charles got his hands on the championship belt, hit Jake in the face with it, and pinned him to retain the Crown Jewel title. At that point, they had gone to intermission, and I failed to mention, folks, this show was aired on Fight TV. First time in months House of Glory had a show aired live on Fight TV. Next up, as intermission was over, and we resumed the show with the a gauntlet match for the Cruiserweight Championship, as we started out with the Cruiserweight Champion, Mighty Montekia, and his first opponent was the prize, Alec Price. Eventually, Montekia pinned Alec Price with a chokeslam to continue in the gauntlet. The next competitor was making his House of Glory debut, Raheem Royal. And the end came when Montekia, for that leg of the gauntlet, when Montekia pinned Raheem Royal with the code red. Then out came the man who Montekia defeated last month at Final Battle, Ichiban. That ended when Montekia pinned Ichiban with a Hurricane Rana. Then out came the next opponent, making his main show debut, Ben Rutten. That ended when Montekia pinned Ben Rutten with a stunner, ace crusher, diamond cutter, whippersnapper, whatever you want to call that move. And after the match, Rutten attacked Montekia, left him laying. Then out comes the Ghetto Samurai, Nolo Kitano, and he took advantage of a weakened Montekia, hit the, well, I don't know what he calls the move, but it's like the pedigree meets MVP's playmaker, that move. But it was effective, and he put Montekia down for a 3 count. Then all of a sudden, a photographer comes into the ring. He puts his camera down, takes off his hat and mask. It's Sweet Cheeks Joey Silver, formerly of HOG PD. And the bell rings. Montekia still at ringside distracts Kitano. And Joey Silver pins Nolo Kitano with a schoolboy to become the new House of Glory Cruiserweight Champion. I was wondering what they were going to do with Silver, since he's apparently no longer part of HOG PD, as he quit the force in a promo video recently. Okay, next up was a match for the House of Glory Women's Championship, as Miyu Yamashita, I think, unless I'm wrong, ring announcer David Adams mispronounced her name, challenged the Booker's member Ultraviolet for the House of Glory Women's Championship. At one point, Brian XL comes out down the ramp. Amazing Red comes through over the guardrail, it seemed. And while Brian's distracting the referee, Red hits a capo kick, which is that kick Jushin Thunder Liger was known for. Violet goes for a cover, but Mayu kicked out, surprisingly. Then, I think Mayu, I forgot what she had done. She had Violet down for the pin, but Red pulls ref Nick Shin out of the ring, and in the meantime, Brian enters the ring, hits Mayu with a chair, and then Nick Shin comes back in the ring and makes a 3 count, enabling Ultraviolet to defeat Mayu Yamashita to retain the House of Glory Women's Championship. Next up was a tag team match, as we saw Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, the Motor City Machine Guns, do battle with Jay Lyon and the ringmaster Midas, the main event. Very good matchup these two tag teams ended up having, and the crowd was always really eating it up. The main event picked up the win with that double team flapjack into an X Factor. Forgot who they hit the move on, but they got the win, and they continue their winning ways after they defeated the Rascals last month at Final Hour. Then it was time for the Heavyweight Championship, as always ready, the indie god Matt Cardona, accompanied by Deathmatch Queen Steph DeLander, did battle with the Samoan Werewolf Jacob Fatu for the House of Glory Heavyweight Championship. I believe Fatu had Cardona down. Steph DeLander pulled the referee out of the ring as he was about to make a 3 count. I think that Internet Championship belt was brought into play, or the House of Glory title belt was brought into play. Eventually, Jacob ended up hitting Steph with a Samoan drop. Cardona, I think, used the championship belt, and then he jumped off the second rope and hit radio silence, and the referee got back in the ring, and Matt Cardona defeated Jacob Fatu to become the new House of Glory Heavyweight Champion. Now, personal notes. It was yep. It was great to finally meet Ariana. She, I had noticed her at many wrestling shows back in the early 2000s, and she and I did not meet back in those days. I had her on Facebook and Instagram for maybe a few years, or maybe right before the pandemic started, and we finally met. Good thing I did it at that moment right before the show started. Okay, it was also nice meeting her nephew. I forgot his name was Frankie or Francisco because I couldn't, Ariana, all apologies. Just with the music playing, we couldn't hear each other talk that much. And it was nice meeting her friend Chrissy. And for the second month in a row, I'm at a House of Glory show, and no air conditioning. Does anyone know if the building has air conditioning? I mean, sure, it cooled off a little bit as the show went on, but, being with those hot lights in the way and stuff. Great seeing my fellow NYWCites, Sam and Tommy. Great seeing Michael Sorrentino. I don't know if he is or was from the General Mission Wrestling podcast from years ago. I don't know if Benjamin was there too. That guy Jay Santee. I don't know if he goes by that profile anymore. Those guys were like behind where I was sitting. Okay. There was actually somebody in the crowd wearing a Yokozuna t-shirt. Probably one of those custom-made things from, from in recent times. Wow, let's see. Throughout that main event, so many people in the crowd were given Matt Cardona sights for the bird watchers, and among them was Ariana's nephew. Well, Red and Brian XL did not have a match on this show, so that's one thing that bums me out about it. And we didn't see La Sombra, Carlos Ramirez, who was Charles Mason's bodyguard until last month. Wow. Apparently with Matt Cardona's champion now, I guess he's going to be around for House of Glory in the upcoming future. And well, a lot on the subject. House of Glory returns Friday night, June 16th with Plata Aplomo. All apologies if I mispronounced the title, but we know it's Friday, June 16th. On that very night, we know that it'll be the House of Glory debut of El Hijo del Vikingo. I apologize if I mispronounced that. No word on his opponent as of yet, but I have to say, I'm sure the newly crowned heavyweight champion Matt Cardona will be there. Don't know if Main Event will get their tag title shot against Red and Brian XL now that they defeated the Motor City Machine Guns. The newly crowned Cruiserweight champion Sweet Cheeks Joey Silver. I can't figure out who he faced for the belt. I would like to see the Crown Jewel champion, the root of all evil, Charles Mason, do battle with La Sombra, Carlos Ramirez, if he's ready. Hopefully... Obviously a lot of stuff has went down on this event. It's good to see some students from the academy getting their opportunity on the show. Some new individuals keep the promote product from going stale. Wow. I know Detective James, the fans were yelling "fuck the police" at him. I'm sure most of you in the crowd wouldn't want to do that literally. Another thing, on Friday night, June 30th, they're going to have another student show, and already announced for that one, making her return, former House of Glory Women's Champion Sonia Strong. I thought maybe she would have shown up on tonight's event. Let's see. Kiki Van Gogh didn't have a match. Michael Fain didn't have a match. As I said, Red and Brian Excel didn't have a match. We didn't see La Sombra, Carlos Ramirez, or was it Martinez? Definitely a lot of good-looking ladies in the crowd. This show actually ran past 11 p.m. I thought the New York State Athletic Commission has a rule where the shows have to be done no later than 11 o'clock. So I don't know if what went down there. Is Low Key ever going to be back in House of Glory? I'd like to know. I mean, he'd be a great opponent for ELD Viking. Can't pronounce his name again. All apologies. El Eo del Viking. Tongue twister, guys. I won't even try to say it 3 times fast. All right. But he would be a great opponent. I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who Matt Cardona's first opponent's going to be. I don't know if Jacob Fatu's going to be around anymore. Wow. Let me see. Ariana, again, you know, wonderful meeting you. I sure hope there'll come a day we get to sit together at a show, whether it's House of Glory, Outlaw Wrestling, or any other promotion out there. Crapola. That. Wow. Yeah. You know, funny thing is, I didn't even bother like messaging Ariana and see if she was going to be at this event, and lo and behold, look what happens. I don't know if she remembers that guy I used to frequent a lot of shows with back in the early 2000s. So, but I have to say, House of Glory, you did very good on this one. Again, still let down Red and Brian didn't have a match. But hopefully I'll be there June 16th for the next event.